Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are, and happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks today for joining us to learn a little bit more about our business tier features. My name is Will, and I'm co-hosting here with Matt today, and I'm a CSM here at Fieldwire. Just going to give everyone a minute before we begin so everyone can get a little bit custom with our webinar setup, and I give everyone some time to join. All right, before we begin, I'd like to address a few housekeeping items just to keep things going smoothly. This webinar will be recorded and you'll receive a copy of the webinar recording and also the slide deck by email after the session. And to ensure a smooth session, all attendees will be muted, but please don't hesitate to ask any questions you might have on the Q&A panel. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A session and we'll do our best to address as many questions as we can. For any questions we don't get to, we'll have our experts reach out to you directly. We also have some poll questions during the webinar for you to participate in and keep you a little bit engaged, also learn a little bit more about you and how you use Fieldwire. So please feel free to select your answers when those questions pop up. Additionally, we have a short 4-question survey at the end of the webinar, which we would really appreciate if you can fill out because it helps us determine the usefulness of our content and also help us plan for future webinars. So if there's anything you would like to see specifically, please do let us know. And without further ado, I'm gonna introduce you to your speaker and construction expert, Matt. Enjoy, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Will. First off, I'd also like to thank everyone for joining us today. So today, we're gonna explore how Fieldwire's business tier features can unlock a wide range of powerful tools, allowing you to capture more detailed information on your projects, as well as adding additional customization to your current workflows. Overall, allowing you to complete your projects faster and more efficiently. So let's start with a quick agenda for today. First, I want to start with a little intro on myself and share a little background as well as my role here at Fieldwire. Next, we'll cover what exactly is included in our business tier, as well as some high-level use cases that are widely used by our current customers. We'll then hop into a live product demonstration to show you exactly how these features can provide value to you and your team. Finally, like Will mentioned, we'll wrap things up with a Q&A. So as we encourage you to submit questions as we progress through this webinar, and we'll try our best to answer all questions at the end. So before we dive into what you're all here for today, I just want to take a quick minute and introduce myself and provide a little background. So my name is Matt Hammond. I'm a construction success manager here at Fieldwire. And as part of the construction success team, my goal is to work with our existing customers to help identify pain points and streamline processes with the Fieldwire platform. Overall, my goal is to help our customers maximize their ROI. Myself, like a majority of our construction team, come from an industry background. Prior to joining Fieldwire, I worked as an assistant PM with a commercial and industrial demolition contractor. I worked on projects ranging from total demolition of schools and warehouses to complex interior structural demolition. I also had 4 years of residential home build experience prior to that. So combining my experience with both residential and commercial allows me to understand the needs of a wide range of our customers and assist them in finding solutions using Fieldwire. All right, that's enough about me. Let's get started today. So like Will mentioned, throughout the webinar, we're going to take a couple brief pauses just to drop a few questions and learn a little bit more about you. So Will's going to drop our first question on the screen today. And we're just going to take a minute to give everyone a chance to fill that out. So just hang tight with us for just another 30 seconds here. All right. Yeah, just looks like we got a pretty wide range of customers joining us today. It's good. Awesome. Well, I think we're at a polls close. All right, awesome. Well, thank you all for taking the time to fill that out today. So real quick, before we dive in to what's included in the business tier, we want to revisit how Fieldwire, at its core, is a powerful tool that helps you connect the field and the office by allowing your entire project team to come together to collaborate and share information in real time. From accessing the latest set of drawings in the field, planning and managing work using tasks, messages, checklists, to reporting progress by generating task reports and taking photos directly within your Fieldwire project. Our business tier features allow you to take these existing workflows to the next level by accessing 3D models, assigning and submitting daily reports, safety inspections directly in Fieldwire, to linking 360 photos directly on a set of plans or to a task to show progress, all of which we're going to cover today throughout our product demonstration. So a quick breakdown of the Fieldwire pricing tiers, starting with our free basic version, going to Pro, Business, and then all the way up to our Enterprise plan. If you're curious which one of these tiers is the best solution for you and your team, don't hesitate to reach out to us after this webinar and we can dive in with some more specific information. All right, now with Business, which is our most popular subscription here at Fieldwire, you gain access to a wide range of powerful features. So if you're already using the Pro or Basic tier, you're going to be familiar with a lot of this mobile plan viewing, file and photo sharing, task management, custom task statuses, reports and exports. Our business tier expands on this by unlocking custom forms, 360 photos, integration with Box, Dropbox, and OneDrive, 3D mobile viewer with our BIM features. You can take the task features to another level by adding custom task attributes, as well as additional file access control. All of these features help keep your projects on schedule, on budget, and completed with the highest quality by allowing you to capture more detailed information and add additional customization to your specific projects or your specific company. So we've got another question we're going to drop in here as we move forward. We just wanted to know from our attendees, what tier are you guys currently on? Okay, very good to see. So it looks like we got a good bit of people all over the place, from just seeing Fieldwire for the first time with no account, many that are already on Business, as well as a lot that are on the Pro and Basic. So we'll try and make sure we cover everything in a way that makes sense for everyone. So we'll keep things high level. And again, that way it applies to no matter what your experience is with Fieldwire. All right, thanks again for bearing with us there. So just before we dive into the product demo, we just want to take a few minutes and build off that previous slide and get the wheels churned a little bit on some of these features we're going to explore today. So for example, with custom forms, you can streamline and digitize these paper copies that you may be using right now, whether it's daily reports, inspection requests, toolbox talks, safety forms, or maybe it's something entirely different that's specific to your company or your project. With our BIM viewer, you can view 3D models online and offline. You can take accurate 3D measurements within there, go ahead and reference them to the projects that you're working on. You can access object properties as well to get extra detailed information to help inform your decisions quickly without having to go ahead and call a design team or the GC who's going to have to loop in 2 or 3 parties. You can go ahead and use those resources directly in the field. And then our integration with Box, Dropbox, and OneDrive. This is going to allow you to sync your existing systems to your Fieldwire project by backing up plans, photos, files, as built. So again, no matter what your whether it's Box, Dropbox, or OneDrive, Fieldwire will automatically sync any new versions that you're uploading, whether it's into Fieldwire or your backend internal storage. Again, making sure you have this information stored internally as well as within your Fieldwire project. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and hop into the fun part, which is our project demo. So we have a demo project pulled up and we're gonna explore a number of these features. We're not gonna touch on every single one of these business features today. So again, if there's one that's specific to you or your company, feel free to reach out to us after this and we'd be happy to dive into one specifically with a little bit more detail. But again, consistent with earlier, we're gonna ask another question. In terms of physical paperwork, are you guys currently still using physical paperwork on your job sites? All right, we're just gonna take a couple more seconds. It looks like just about everyone is in there. All right, thank you all again for participating in that. So hopping into our demo project, we're gonna start by exploring our forms feature. So hence why we asked that question, are you currently using physical paperwork on your job sites? Um, and before we get started here, it looks like a lot of you guys still are using physical paperwork, and this is something that I can identify from my previous experience. So I just kind of want to paint this picture based on what I used to encounter. It was always a constant struggle to track and manage those paper forms from the field to the office. Whether it was having a foreman or a super drop these forms off at the end of the day, or maybe it was myself driving out to the job site multiple times a week to pick these forms up just to create another stack of paper back in my office. And then one of my favorites was, someone looking in the back of their truck for a crumpled up piece of paper with chicken scratch and coffee stains on it. Again, your guys in the field, they've got a lot of important stuff going on. And sometimes these paper copies, they just kind of get lost in the shuffle. So instead of spending your time trying to track down these forms, with Fieldwire's business tier, you can create, submit, and file these forms directly from your Fieldwire project. So no more running back and forth to the office to pick up and drop off new copies, saving time and money on gas. Not to mention, you're also going to save money on printing costs. So hopping into Fieldwire's form module here, we're going to start with what is one of our more widely used, which is our daily reports forms. So again, just kind of revisit those paper copy forms. We've got an example of one we just wanted to kind of show you here. It's sort of kind of laying the lines of one of our template daily forms here. So this is probably something that's familiar to you. A lot of you guys on the job site, tracking specific job information, temperature for the day, just general remarks and what was going on for that specific day, what trades were on site, and so forth. So hopping into our forms module here, we just kind of want to lay that picture and show you what a fully built out daily report form is going to look like. So I know from my experience, this is a lot cleaner than those daily reports with chicken scratch on them and so forth. Again, this is something that can be filled out throughout the day by just pulling up our forms module and filling in this information as needed. Our daily reports are also synced with your project address, which is going to automatically pull this weather information for 3 different timestamps throughout the day. So this is something that can be super valuable, especially for some of our customers who are up north, operating in those cold, rainy winter months, where weather can have a huge impact on your daily operations. And just think that's something that as maybe you've got a job that's, a year, maybe a couple of years long, you're not going to remember what the weather was, 6 to 8 months ago. Maybe there's a schedule delay that, there's a little bit of finger pointing going into it. If you have these daily reports all stored in Fieldwire, you can go ahead and pull up a specific day, reference what was done. Maybe there was a lot of rain or snow in the forecast that day. That's something that you can sort of use for that CYA aspect. So just hopping into a daily report here, just to kind of show you how this can be filled out. This is on our web app here, so you can quickly go through each section, fill out what you may need. But again, a lot of you guys are probably going to be using these, or some of you guys on your team are going to want to utilize these in the field. So we're going to go ahead and shift over to our iPad view here and just kind of show you how quickly someone can fill this out just in the palm of their hand. So just to run through, this is a form that, this is something I've been filling out throughout the day. I've got basically all my general information in there, just some notes on the weather, our work log for who was on site that specific day, how many, of that specific, trade were on site, how long they were there for. We can make any specific notes as well. Any equipment, maybe we have some equipment on rental that day. We can make notes of that in here in terms of when the information or when the machinery was delivered, when it was removed, and so forth, just to track some things on the billing end. Then we can go ahead, any material deliveries and so forth. Then we also have the ability to attach and add pictures directly from Fieldwire. So I've got a couple of photos in here. We could also go directly to our Photos tab on our camera or iPad and take a photo directly through here and attach it as well. Then we're going to go ahead and let's say this one's all complete for the day. We're going to go ahead, add our signature, sign. Oop, looks like we got one missing field in here. We're going to go ahead and delete that one, hop back in here, update, and submit this form. So now I have to hop back into our web view. Go ahead and click a refresh here. All right, and now you can see we've got our new daily form submitted. Go ahead and view what's been done that day. And then from here, going back to this PDF copy that I showed you in the beginning, maybe this is something that you guys want to export and send to a party outside of Fieldwire. And maybe it's not a daily report. Maybe it's one of our other form templates. Maybe it's an inspection request, a safety audit. Or again, these can be completely customized. So maybe it's something that's specific to your particular job or a specific trade that's being done that day. Which again, just kind of show you can also link these to specific plans or tasks as well. So hopping into our plan view, we're going to go ahead and click on we're actually going to go ahead and hop into a different one here, just to scroll down. Task. We're going to go hop into our foundation floor plan here. So we've got one task dropped on here. We've got a slab pour going on that day. So within this task, we've actually linked a specific pre-pour inspection form. So this is an example of a completely customizable form that can be filled out in Fieldwire. So in addition to all the work and with this checklist that needs to be done, we also want to have that additional QA/QC process in place for this inspection request. So we're going to go ahead and link this to this form as well. So our form module, it allows you to create custom forms, again, just to kind of streamline that operations and improve that field to office communication. So going back to that picture that the example we talked about earlier of having to track down your office or your field guys, find those paper forms. We know it's always a headache for all parties involved. So with Fieldwire, you can streamline that process, have everything linked directly in here. And similar, which we touched on earlier with if you utilize that two-way sync feature, these forms will automatically be one-way pushed into your internal cloud storage as well, so you can have them saved on the back end. All right. Awesome. So again, just keep in mind, these can be completely customized. This is something we can work with you on. And we do provide a number of templates right here that you can utilize, build off specific sections in these, or like we mentioned, build something entirely different. That's what you're trying to use. So next, we're going to go ahead and touch on custom task attributes. So I think a good place to start is sort of dissecting the anatomy of a task. So just to hop into a floor plan, which we have a task pinned to a specific location in here. So just to kind of walk through the anatomy of a task. On the left-hand side, you have got all your documentation aspects. So messaging, photos, communication, etc. And then on the right-hand side, we have attributes associated with that specific task. So what is the status of it, category for specific trades or work being completed, start and end date, and so forth. So with custom task attributes, you have the ability to add project-specific or company-specific information into these tasks, which can then be cloned and copied over to new existing projects moving forward. So You have the ability to hide attributes that may not be applicable to your team or that project on a given day or a given month. You can go ahead, hide them if needed. We'll go ahead and save changes. So maybe you're not using cost, location, tags. They're just ones that you don't find your team utilizing that often. You can go ahead and hide those, and that's going to clean up the view as your team pops in and out here. And then to just kind of expand on adding specific custom task attributes. It's one thing to add these as, let me rewind for 1 second. So just to provide a couple examples. So maybe it's estimated man hours versus actual man hours. So then you can track what you thought a specific job or task was going to take compared to how long it actually took. You can track task completion percentage. Again, maybe something entirely different. So again, you're adding an additional layer of customization to your planning and managing work through Fieldwire. So one that I want to kind of show you here is we've got an inspection status, custom task attribute that we're going to go ahead and keep in our tasks. So going back to this task, you can see I've got ready for inspection, just to show you the different fields we can choose from. And this is a preloaded list that we have in there. So our guys aren't going to have to go ahead and type in inspection failed, inspection passed. They're just quickly and easily going to go ahead and click for whatever that status may be. So again, it's one thing to add these custom task attributes, but how can we leverage them to provide value across maybe a year-long project or multiple different projects? What we have the ability to do is go ahead and we can filter through our tasks right here. Maybe we want to filter by just that ready for inspection status, just to see what we need to prioritize and move forward that week. And in addition to that, we can go ahead and create a custom task report, whether it's a PDF or a CSV, and filter that directly by that inspection status or that custom task attribute. So on this one, just to show you, for example, I've got this task report filtered by only that ready for inspection status. And to save time from watching this generate, which ends up being the longest, 4 seconds of your life while that wheel's spinning, I've got one preloaded just to show you here. So this is a PDF detailed view. We've also seen people utilize our CSV and run this through multiple different projects, and then they compile that into one specific document or file, whatever information it is that you're hoping to achieve here. So again, this report is only pulling from those specific tasks that are associated with that ready for inspection task status. And I'm sure each one of you are following along. You may have a different use case for custom task attributes, and that's the exact intention, allowing you to customize your project to meet your specific needs. So it's really taking your existing task workflow and just providing more detail, and again, accurately providing that on a high level. So again, we're just going to pause on that note. Again, I know we're covering a lot of information here, so feel free to just take some time to sink in. And again, if you have any specific questions on this, feel free to go ahead and submit them. Will's dropping another question on the screen here. Again, we'll just take another couple seconds while all the following answers trickle in. All right, thanks again. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and dive into 360 photos, which is always a fun one. So our integration with the Ricoh Theta series of 360 cameras allows users with our business tier to take full circle photos of entire rooms or areas on site directly in Fieldwire. These images can be attached to plans and tasks and even exported in reports or plan exports. So going back to that custom task report we ran with those custom task attributes, those reports, you can go ahead and reference a 360 photo directly in that report. We're going to go ahead and hop back out of there because I want to walk you through just a quick thought experiment here. So going back to this plan, we're going to go ahead and pull this specific task up. We've got 2 photos associated here. So I want to ask you, which one of these 2 photos are you able to capture more information in? So we've got, just a standard photo we took right here. Just give it a minute, see what all we can notice in this photo. Okay, sweet. And now we're going to go ahead and hop into the 360 photo. So you tell me which one of these photos allows you to capture more information and track progress. Go ahead and even zoom in to specific objects, see what the status is. Pretty cool feature, and again, I think it doesn't really require a whole ton of context on which one of these photos provides more detail. So we'll just call that a mic drop on that one, and we're going to move on. No, but in all seriousness, the ability to capture 360 photos and then link them to specific locations on a plan or a task allows you to track progress and take your progress tracking documentation to the next level. Again, I think it's fairly self-explanatory through this this task right here, which one of these provides more detail. It's also a pretty impressive feature to show maybe potential clients or owners. I think it makes you guys, look like you know what you're doing. Whether we do or not, sometimes it's just these little features that wow people. So again, any specific questions on 360 photos, feel free to go ahead and drop them, in the Q&A, and we'll do our best to touch on them at the end here. So you're probably asking yourself, Matt, what's better than 360 photos? Well, 3D models are a pretty cool feature that you can also access in Fieldwire, whether online or offline, on the web app or the mobile app as well. So, maybe you're in the field and you need to reference, you have a 3D model from the beginning of this job that you want to go ahead and reference, where it's something that would typically take, a phone call, email to maybe it's the PM, and then to the GC, then to the design team to get this information. If you have this 3D model located in here, you can go ahead, quickly pull this up and reference specific objects. You can go ahead and isolate specific sections and so forth. So up top here, there's multiple different ways to navigate. You can click and drag, walk through this way. A nice clean way is utilizing sort of this globe bar, globe cube up at the top. So we're going to go ahead and view our aerial view. We're going to go ahead and hide this roof section right here. Then we're going to go ahead and zoom in and just kind of see what we have going on in here. So maybe we're sort of built out the framing section of this building, and we just want to go ahead and reference the work we're doing in the field. Sort of matches up with this 3D model and projection that we did at the beginning of our job here. And then just to kind of take this a step further, maybe we want to see a specific property properties of a specific object. So to get the material, graphics, dimensions, and so forth. You can go ahead and pull that up directly here in Fieldwire as long as they're linked within your 3D model. Another nice feature we have here is the ability to go ahead and take measurements directly within our 3D model. So let's go ahead and measure the width of one of these rooms. Just going to go ahead and lock on here. There we go. So it looks like 21 feet 6 inches there. And then we have the ability to go ahead and capture screenshots directly in Fieldwire as well. That will go ahead, we can go ahead and capture that. And now that's going to live inside our pictures. So maybe this is something we want to reference and link to a specific task. The 3D models, again, really just take that documentation and resources within your project to the next level. Now we're going to go ahead and just reference. So now we've got this photo right here. So this is something that maybe we want to go ahead. There's a little communication that's going on, a specific task. We can go ahead. Maybe we want to go ahead and link this to this specific task as well. So we've got an existing photo. We're going to go ahead and link this one in there as well. So again, we can provide some additional resourcing context to our guys in the field with a quick And that took us all of 1 minute. All right. And again, we're just going to pause, and I'm sure, as you guys, as the industry continues to progress, the BIM models is something that's going to become more and more standard. I know a lot of jobs, and some towards the end of my experience, this was becoming much more of a standard as opposed to an outlier on jobs. So it's nice to kind of get ahead of these features and be comfortable with them, and have a use case built in place, before this continues to become more of the standard rather than the outlier. And then last but certainly not least today, we're going to go ahead and just kind of highlight this two-way sync feature, or the integration with Box, Dropbox, or OneDrive. So our integration with Box, Dropbox, or OneDrive is automatically going to sync the information that you have in Fieldwire into your internal storage. So those forms that we were talking about, those are also a one-way sync feature. So as you go ahead and fill out these daily forms, they're going to go ahead and be pushed into a file structure that is mirrored based on your Fieldwire project. And then you'll have them stored in there as well. So plans and files have a two-way sync functionality. So it's a great way to, whether you upload them into your internal storage before your Fieldwire project, it's a great way to manage version control, and again, have everything backed up internally as well as your Fieldwire project. And then again, going back to the forms and photos, those are going to be a one-way sync feature, which are automatically pushed into your storage as well. So to do that, you would go into your settings right here, and you can go ahead and view the integration status right here. It's as simple as just hitting connect. I've already went ahead and did it for this project. And just to go ahead and show you how we can go ahead and test that out, you can see up here, we've got our Dropbox, syncing. It looks like it's running fine. We can go ahead and check the status and go ahead and see when was the last push or pull on this given project. So it looks like it happened just a minute ago, showing us everything's working pretty well. And to kind of show you what that looks like internally, it's kind of tough to picture, but it's basically creating a mirrored folder structure. So it's going to create a Fieldwire folder in your internal storage, and then broken down by project specifics. And then again, photos, files, plans, forms, and even as-built with those markups that you're making as you go through your project are going to be one-way synced into Fieldwire as well. So again, just to kind of recover that, plans and files have the two-way sync functionality, and then as-built, photos, forms have that one-way sync from Fieldwire to your internal storage as well. So just to kind of highlight here, we're going to go ahead and, as you can see, that daily form that we filled out, just 10 minutes ago in this demo is already going to go ahead and populate here in our internal storage. So again, just kind of tying everything together with that picture we painted early on of, creating that paper copy or that stack of papers within your office. I know my office, there was papers filed and sorted everywhere. Most of them I never went ahead and looked at. And if I did, it was kind of a headache trying to find which one I'm looking for. You can quickly and easily go ahead and just kind of eliminate that process altogether with this two-way sync feature here. All right, and we're just going to kind of take it. It's a lot of me talking there, so I appreciate you guys bearing with us today. So we just kind of want to, again, hit the pause and drop one more question on your screen. I know we weren't able to cover everything here, but after walking through some of our business features, we want to kind of gauge your interest. Are you interested in learning more about our business features? Yeah, and I wish we had, all day to go over this. An example we use is forms alone. We could really spend probably this entire 45-minute session diving specifically into forms. And same could probably be said about custom task attributes. So just keep that in mind that there's, multiple different use cases and customizations out there. We've got a number of different users utilizing them in ways that we didn't even imagine when we set these features up. So again, I'm sure you guys have some great examples as well. All right, well, based on the poll results, it sounds like we did a decent job detailing some of these today. So just to kind of go back and wrap things up, if you had any questions today, we would like to kind of move into our Q&A section now, and just see if there's anything we can dive into a little bit more over the final 10 minutes here.
Sweet. Thanks, Matt. And thanks everyone for staying attentive this whole time. We have a bunch of questions from the team, from everyone here on the call today. And let's start with the first one here from one of our users. I'm on a business plan, but have no form templates available to me right now. How do I access that? I guess, Matt, if you can share a little bit more about forms, giving you a little bit of a platform here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for that one, you should have access to our templates. So going back into our project here, these are provided, on our business tier. So you may not have filled any out yet. But what you're going to want to do is go to a new form here, and then these templates should be populating right there for you. So you can also reference and see what you have and how they're customized on the Manage Templates side right over here. If for some reason you're not seeing any of these templates provided, please reach out to us so we can kind of figure out and see how we can push those forward into your project. But if you go ahead and click on New Form, some of these should go ahead and automatically populate here.
Awesome. Next question here is, can I share form templates with other team members?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question there. So let's go ahead and let's just say one of these dailies, for example, that one of the ones, let's go ahead and this one, let's go ahead and hop into one here. Let's go ahead and put it back in the draft. So let's say this daily, for example, is one that maybe, you had to leave a project halfway through, for example, and you want to pass this over to your guy on site to fill out the rest of it. What we can do here is managing our templates. We're going to go ahead and do our daily report. And keep in mind that these need to be unpublished as you're editing those. And that, again, this is something that we can provide more context on down the road. But you'll see this permission and statuses right here. For this specific one, we currently have it set to the assignee only. So this was assigned to me. So currently, only I will be able to fill this out. But what we can go ahead and do is adjust this permission and now make it so all users can go ahead and contribute to that specific form. Hopefully that answers the question. And again, that's something that can be applied to all of these. So going into, this is sort of diving into our custom form side of things. This is what you would be looking at in terms of customizing these. So if you want to move sections around and so forth, this is where you would do this from our custom form publisher. Then we'll go ahead and publish this back. Now going back to our forms, go into our dailies. We can go ahead and now multiple people can go ahead and fill out this form.
Awesome. And just to add a little bit to it as well, if there are multiple folks that need to sign off on the form, they also have the ability to do that within our forms. Next question here. Does changing custom task attributes when you edit that task apply for the entire project?
Yeah, so if you go ahead and add a custom task attribute to one specific task, it is going to go ahead and apply to all those tasks within that project. So just hopping in here, as you can see, we're going to go ahead and remove this filter. Just to kind of walk you through that example. So right now, you can see we're not seeing some of the ones we have hidden. If we go ahead and let's say we want to see this cost, or we want to include cost code back in here, that's going to go ahead and now apply to all tasks that you go ahead and choose in. So we're going to click on a random task here, and you can see those custom task attributes are going to now apply to all all tasks within that specific project.
Awesome. And a quick follow-up question. One of our users today asked, is there online information on custom task attributes?
Yeah, absolutely. So if going up here, referencing this you can go to our knowledge base article on the right-hand side, up by your plan name and notification icon. We have a little help icon, it's question mark. We'll go ahead and click in there. And if we just go ahead and type in custom task attribute. So again, if you guys are following along at home, maybe you're on a specific project, go ahead and search that. We can go ahead and reference right here. Go ahead and pull up one of our knowledge base articles and we'll provide some additional details on that as well. We also have, back out here. Will, any additional just resources that you can think of off the top of your head in addition to the knowledge base?
Yeah, I think on top of that, I think what we also have the contact us button where if you have anything specific, feel free to kind of reach out to us and we'll definitely have our strong support team follow up with some good responses on your end.
Absolutely. I think that can apply to really any of these questions you have coming in. Fieldwire prides itself on its, support response time. So any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We also have this helpful tutorial tab up at the top of your home screen. And maybe this advanced task features might be a good one to reference as well. Managing tasks, you can go ahead and walk yourself through some of those. We've got a number of resources built out for you guys.
Cool. And another question. Oh, this is a good one. Can you share form templates after a project is created and not cloned?
Yeah, great question. So for example, let's say we have a custom form that we built in this specific project. This is an improvement we've recently made to kind of streamline and manage this process a little bit easier now. So admins on your account have the ability to manage templates across multiple projects. So again, utilizing your home screen, at the very top, we'll have this templates tab. And from here, you can go ahead and manage a number of different templates. And then as you go in and create new jobs, you can go ahead and choose to publish and import those specific forms to given projects as needed. So maybe you create a specific inspection form that's not needed on all your projects, but it's going to be needed on one here or there. You're going to want to go ahead and save those on the account level. That way they can be pulled in for those specific projects. And just to kind of walk you through here, let's go ahead and hop into a different one just to show you what that's going to look like right here. So we're going to go ahead and new form. And right here, new template, we're going to go ahead and import from account. So now it's going to pull up that list that we looked at on our home screen, and we can choose whatever that specific form is that we want to go ahead and pull into that specific project.
Awesome. Super convenient way to kind of pull in things and share / standardize certain forms across the company. Due to time restraints, we'll take one more quick question here. How do you see subcontractors use forms?
Yeah, great question. So I think there's a number of different use cases, and I'll go back to, I served as a subcontractor on my previous job. Right off the top of the bat, or right off the top of my head, those daily reports, I think those are advantageous no matter what level or what trade you're in, whether you're GC, sub, so forth. And then as well as time and material tags. We've also seen people, even condense multiple forms into one, where maybe that daily is also serving as your daily timesheet. But again, just to kind of take it back to that specific question, I think there's a number of different examples, but just off the simple form templates that we have provided, I think the safety audit is one that can be applicable no matter what trade or what level you're in on that project, as well as inspection requests. And again, I think dailies are just a great high level example that can be applied no matter where you're at.
Awesome. And I guess we're almost hitting time here, so we're gonna wrap it up today. If we don't mind going to the next slide. Yeah, so thanks everyone for hopping on, and thanks again, Matt, for hosting. Had a lot of good kind of content, and like Matt said, we're not able to cover everything today due to the time restraint. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We'll provide a copy of the slide deck and recording after our webinar. And in case we aren't able to answer your question today, we'll follow up by email. And yeah, looking forward to get in touch with you. Additionally, feel free to leverage our online resources to learn more about how you can leverage certain tools, whether it's a specific feature, like what Matt mentioned. Our knowledge base is a super heavy, kind of how-to guide with a bunch of GIFs and kind of text to walk you through how to use certain things. And to learn more about our business features, feel free to click the schedule a demo with us button from the deck itself. And you can kind of book a demo to learn a little bit more if you're interested to upgrade, or if you're just interested to learn a little bit more, feel free to reach out to our support team. Lastly, please don't forget to complete the survey after the webinar. It will really help us shape our future webinars and assess our performance. And looking forward to seeing everyone in the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.